A couple new things that people aren't going to be used to is a brand new program that we're coming out with. Ooh, yes.
Okay.
And so I don't know if you guys have met.
You guys, welcome to a new week. And not just a new week, but a new cycle.
Yep.
Pretty stoked about it. Obviously, I have Sir Jeffrey here with me.
Hi there, guys.
So, Jeff, talk to us a little bit about what our members can anticipate and expect in this new cycle.
Okay, so we'll just start off with kind of what I guess people are known, or what we're known for currently, is just the cycles. We'll start off with that, I guess. So we're moving into a new Olympic lifting cycle. It's going to be 6 weeks long. And the test in is going to be the barbell snatch and the barbell clean and jerk.
Cool.
Okay, that's like all day Monday. That's basically what we're doing. There's a little workout at the end if you finish early. If not the end of the world.
But primary stimulus is to work on those lifts.
Yep. And then day 2 is more of like a good old-fashioned grunt work style workout.
Cool.
But how the 6 weeks is going to look, and so the members, so they're not just like, oh, it just looks like any other week. The first like couple weeks is going to be all from the hang position. It's all going to be from the catching in the power position.
Cool.
Okay, so we're learning how to create that explosive drive and good contact with the hips. In the following weeks, then from there we start pulling from the floor. It's all still going to be power variations, and then eventually it'll be pulling from the floor and going into squat variations, because in the perfect world, the squat variation is always going to be the better lift, okay? In a theoretical world,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
Obviously, mobility and technique will create those issues. But that's one of the things, is that we're trying to do the difficult work for the individuals by delineating the movements, like separating the movements from like easiest to learn to most difficult to learn.
Throughout the course of the cycle.
Throughout the course of the 6 weeks, yes.
Yeah.
And so
Cool.
I don't know how many people know, but like in Olympic weightlifting, what I feel like is the most messed up portion of it is what we call the first pull. And if we get into all the fancier things, the Olympic lifts or the clean and the snatch are divided up into 3 pulls. The first pull is basically starting from the ground until you get to that like high hang position, or just middle thigh. We'll just go middle thigh just to make it easier.
Yeah.
Right. Second pull is that middle of thigh to that full extension, like triple extension as they call it.
Through the hips.
Yep. And then the final pull is an actual pulling yourself underneath the bar. And so what I find in a standard normal CrossFit class is people mess up the lifts because of the first pull. Like, oh yeah, I can hang snatch more than I can full snatch.
Totally.
Yeah, or whatever, or hang snatches just feel better. I always feel like I connect with my hips. Well, that's because you're messing up the first pull. You're either rushing it or you're letting it get away from you, which is generally also due to rushing, blah, 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 blah. So the weight gets away from you, and then once you screw up the first pull, you're not saving the rest of the pulls.
Yeah, everything else from that point is going to be off.
Yes.
In some variation.
Yes. And so as long as we start from the hang and we really work on that explosiveness and that connection with the hips, and then we slowly work down the legs over the course of the 6 weeks, then the position should feel key, as long as people keep trying to reiterate what they were feeling in the earlier weeks and whatnot.
Yeah, cool.
And then also when it comes to the Olympic lifts, the squat variation should obviously be the heaviest lift, because you're able to get underneath the bar more. And so we're also going to be working on position and whatnot throughout all 6 weeks. That's not any portion. We're literally going to be working on front squat position, jerk positions, and overhead squat positions the entire 6 weeks.
Yeah, in different shapes and forms.
Exactly.
Iterations.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And so that's the beginning, I guess, of the 6 week cycle, or like that's what's happening new in the upcoming 6 weeks. Is going to be this Olympic weightlifting cycle.
Cool.
A couple new things that people aren't going to be used to is a brand new program that we're coming out with. Ooh, yes.
Okay.
And so I don't know if you guys have met Chris yet. Chris is actually one of the now head coaches, right? He's officially a head coach. Congratulations, Chris.
Congratulations.
Bam. he's going to be front running the restorative program that we're going to be putting on as well in the cycles.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Glad you asked.
A little example.
Okay, so what it's going to be is it's honestly based on how you as the athlete feel. Okay, so it's only going to be one workout programmed a week.
Okay.
And it's designed to be more like an active recovery workout. So it might be like, oh, it's 20 minutes long. You're going at a jogging pace. That's with a soft J.
Yeah.
A jog.
Yeah.
Right.
My preferred method of
exactly.
Any type of forward movement.
Exactly. Or on the right. Or maybe it's on the bike and you're going at like 40% perceived maximal effort, or
you're just moving.
Exactly. You're literally just getting the joints moving, and then there might be some mobility portions to it, like T-spine rotations or whatever it might be, but everything's very much controlled. You still might get a little bit of sweat going, but by no means are you like blasting through it for time, stuff like that, because your central nervous system can only take so much of that blasting through.
Yeah.
Right.
That high intensity, max effort, total exhaustion. Yeah.
And I know Active Life, actually, I think they just came out with a post that said like your body only really needs to handle like 2 days a week of like high intensity, and the rest of it is just like controlled motion.
Yeah.
Now we're not gonna get too crazy with that. Our members love that high intensity, so we're definitely not gonna just drop down to 2 days a week, guys. Don't worry.
Like we're closing down these days.
Yeah. So you can do Fran, at least once a week. That'll be fine.
So it's really meant for like, I don't know, let's say Monday, Tuesday, I went like full send and I'm just super like sore and kind of just jacked up from that. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I am wrecked. The worst thing that you can do is just to stay home.
Wreck it more.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah, wreck it more.
Wreck it more is
or
worse.
just sit at home and eat bonbons and be like,
also not bad.
Super great. But so you're saying that like that Wednesday to come in and hit that active recovery kind of quote unquote workout or just movement patterns or exercises, so that way I can kind of like flush all the things out, use the recovery room, get Ramwad, yoga, whatever, but to recover.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, precisely. And it doesn't have to be in the middle of the week.
Whenever it might be,
Everything's based off of your schedule to start off with. I know like CrossFit methodology is 3 days on, 1 day rest, 2 days on, 1 day rest. And those rest days are still designed to be like active recovery days, like maybe you go swimming, light swim, or, you go
just
walk the dog, stuff like that. Active recovery, same general concept. But
cool.
I guess like a good example could be like this week of programming. There's probably something that is like near and dear or like spicy in people's like feelings right now is on Thursday, individuals had to perform 200 squats, air squats in the workout. And then the very following day, we had them do back squat 5x5, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, my legs are so trashed right now." Like if they're to the point where like they were throbbing, and it's like, "Hey, don't look at the percentages. Like don't even worry about that. Like just like go through ranges of motion. That way you can still kind of get blood flowing and it'll help recover faster." Well, having this restorative program will create a lot less issues with ego. I guess you're like, oh, I'm going to take it light today. Everything's super sore. And all of a sudden your best friend's over there. Oh, come squat with me. Oh, I'm going to go light. Don't worry. And all of a sudden everyone's doing a 5-rep max.
Yeah.
And then you wake up the next day, you're like, I can't lift my legs.
Dang it.
So it'll also kind of help with that.
Okay, that's cool. And instead of being like, hey, just take it easy and just jump on the bike, it gives members more direction around, hey, like here's a new movement pattern like T-spine rotations or whatever it might be, different things just to get them moving instead of just getting on the bike and just going, because that can get really monotonous, or just go for a run. It gives them a little bit more direction, incorporating like full body total recovery, those types of things.
100%. It also teaches people what active recovery probably should feel like.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did a nice easy 10,000 meter row today for active recovery. What?
Yeah, I'd be like, I think you missed the part of recovery.
Yeah.
And the active recovery part. Yeah, no. Okay, cool. So that's the the new program, and so that's going to be available. Like it's going to be on Wodify for every single day.
Monday through Sunday. It'll just be posted. It'll be called. I don't know if the name I'm using, Restorative, is the official name, so don't quote me on that yet, guys. But it's going to look something like that. We'll be announcing it in class, like, oh, you're feeling super sick and tired, or just down and out, like, go do this program instead. It'll be nice and not killing you. Yeah. But it's going to be the same thing Monday through Sunday.
So that way anyone can come in and hit it at any point in time.
Exactly.
Outside of class, during open gym, or off to the side during class times, or whatever it might be.
But just keep in mind that it's going to be the same thing.
Yep.
So if you come in on Monday and you want to do it, and then you come in on Thursday and want to do it, it's going to look the same.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I guess other than that, the only other thing that we have is if you weren't already at the active life assessments that we actually just did today, and we will be doing tomorrow. I don't know when this podcast is going to be coming out officially. So by the time that this podcast is out, I'm sure tomorrow will also be having done. So if you haven't gotten your active life assessment done, get it knocked out. Okay, sometime this week. Get that information, right? It takes 10, 15 minutes with a coach on their free time as well, right? They can't do it during class.
Yeah.
And you have to do it when you haven't worked out yet, okay? Or cold.
Cold, yeah.
In a sense, right? So don't come running to the gym having done like 3 miles of running to get here and be like, oh, I'm ready for my assessment. Are you?
Cool.
Let's go sit down over there for like 45 minutes before your body cools down.
Yeah.
Because what we're hoping to do is create more awareness. I'm sure you guys, actually, I think I already listened to the podcast about you guys talking about this, but, I just wanted
it's all
to
good. I mean,
it.
I was going to say, too, like the people that I did the assessments with this morning, it was like one part affirming of like, I know that whenever I squat, I have, this weird like pinch in my left low back. Okay. But I didn't necessarily know these other things. Or the other thing that I heard was, okay, so what are you going to do with this? And to which I said, I'm going to take this back. I'm going to look it over. I'm going to come up with some protocols or just some general things that you might want to be mindful of, whether it's in workouts and how to load, whether it's in some warm-up stuff, whatever. Just some different ways that you can mitigate future discomfort as well as potential injury, especially if it's, asymmetrical or whatever. And they were like, wow, really? Yeah. Yes. And so that's the whole thing. It's like knowledge is power. And so we want to be able to give you guys more tools in your tool belt to know, like, okay, I remember when Olivia was saying that when, like I come up in my shoulder and it looks like this or it feels like this, I need to go and do blah, blah, blah. Or to go and ask a coach, hey, maybe we can do some PT because I keep having like shoulder pain whenever I do kipping pull-ups, or my low back always hurts after I go running or rowing, or whatever the thing may be. It's just really trying to equip you guys with more information to know about your bodies than just come in here, blast it, and be like, oh, my low back always hurts. It's like your low back shouldn't always hurt.
I can name a few hashtag Team Icy Hot people. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Get your back fixed.
Hi, Steven. Hey.
Gabby, you're not alone.
Cool. Well, as always, if you guys have any further questions, definitely hit any of the coaches up specific to programming or just general whatevers. But like Jeff said, get your assessments done if you aren't able to make it to one of the group assessment times at any of the locations. But anything else?
No, I think that is it. Yeah.
Okay. Until next time.
Sweet. All right, you guys take it easy.
See ya.